What up, Screen Fiends? I'm GB, and you're tuned in to Screen Headz TV, where we like to discuss all the wonderful things appearing on your movie and your TV screens. In this episode, we're going to discuss the trailer for the second half of Season 3 for Fear the Walking Dead. Alright, so honestly, this was the best trailer that Fear the Walking Dead has put out. It was exciting, it was action-packed, it looked like it's going to be an interesting plot line for the second half. I have very little complaints about the actual trailer itself. Now, whether or not that all translates to the episodes, that's a whole nother story. If you watch my videos, you know how I feel about Fear. I like it, I want to love it, I like a lot of their ideas, but I hate their execution almost all the time across the board. So I'm trying not to have my hopes set too high, because Fear the Walking Dead usually doesn't have a lot of action. It usually doesn't have a lot of scares. But this trailer looked like it was action-packed, Walker action and people action. It looked like it has an interesting story, as I said, and it looks like there's going to be some scary Walker stuff. So I really hope that it translates to the show the way that I took it from the trailer. Like I always say, I really want to love this show. Now, I believe I did my predictions video right after the first half of Season 3 ended. And my predictions have pretty much stayed the same. This trailer, all but, just it confirmed them, basically. So, where I think most of us knew that the Native Americans were going to end up joining Broke Jaw Ranch. And that's obviously happening, and we're going to get a lot of friction in between those two groups. Hopefully they don't drag it out too much and they kind of move it along. But that definitely looks like it's going to be the major issue with the second half of Season 3. That, and they're also obviously running out of water. This is where Daniel is going to come into play. But he doesn't seem to be too friendly. But then again, Ophelia is with the group, so, this may work out. But I don't see it working out amongst all the groups. So even if they all join forces, right? The Native Americans, Daniel, Broke Jaw, then the Clarks, they all join together. I still think there's going to be a lot of dissonance, a lot of problems. No clear leadership, because you'll have like 3-4 different leaders. So I don't necessarily think it's going to get to that point where they're all mishmashed together. But how I can see it happening is there being all these problems within Broke Jaw with the Native Americans and the white man. I don't know why I did that in quotations, because they are all white people, right? So there's obviously going to be the problems there, and I think that towards the end of the season, it's basically just going to be a small group of both of those communities that are left alive to possibly make it to the dam. Now, they made a mistake, I feel, by showing Strand back with Madison. Save that for a surprise. I mean, show Daniel, that's cool, because then you're wondering, what kind of conflict is going to happen? Is Daniel going to be cool with it? Is Ophelia still alive at this point? Who knows, right? So it looks like the major problems is going to be dealing with the cultural problems of all these different communities and their internal beefs that they have. And then you'll have somebody like Walker, who's the leader of his group, the leader of men in general, right? And then you have Troy, who is going crazy, and his father died and he was crazy before that, and he kind of is gonna take on the leadership role of Broke Jaw. So to have this, I'm sure him and Jake are gonna kind of have this power struggle. So I believe at the core, it's going to be all about the power struggle, right? It's going to be Walker, it's going to be Jake and Troy, it's going to be Daniel. And then Madison is just going to basically be trying to maneuver and weave around all of these problems to keep her family safe. And she'll probably be faced with making some not so ethical choices along the way. which I'm sure will cause friction between the Clarks. Because that's another thing I see building that may not play out this season, but I see conflict between all three of the Clarks and how they're all changing and what they're learning about not only each other, but what they're learning about themselves. And I think that's going to drive a wedge in between them by the end of the season. Hopefully it doesn't split them up again. We've had enough of that on this show. I normally don't mind the splitting up, but just with Fear, we've had it so much already, in the 3 seasons. So, look, I want it to be as exciting as it looks. I want it to be scary. I want there to be walkers. I want the writing to improve and not contrive these ridiculous situations and these even more ridiculous ways of them getting out of it. And I really hope it's more grounded and it just plays out better. The first half of season 3 is a great improvement on the show, especially on, comparing it to season 2. So season 3 is, in my opinion, only improving. The trailer looks like it's going to continue that trend to improve. Fingers crossed. But I'm trying to curb my enthusiasm. Love that show. It's coming back in October, actually. I'm trying to curb my enthusiasm because just with movies, with TV shows, I try not to let the trailer get me too excited, because the trailers seem to do a few things, and that they'll either give you all the good stuff so it feels epic, but meanwhile you've seen all the good stuff and it's spaced out or whatever. Or they mislead you, and I'm not for that, Don't give me the whole show or the whole movie. Give me enough to where I'm intrigued. Give me snippets of action so I know that there's excitement. Give me tone in the trailer, what's going to be the tone of the season, via music or voiceover or whatever. So I try not to let trailers steer me in any direction. So I want it to be as good as the trailer. I really enjoy the trailer. So I want it to be as good or better than the trailer. But I'm worried, of course, that it's going to come off networky, like I always say. It's going to feel like an NBC, CBS, ABC show. But hopefully, I'm wrong. And Fear continues to step up its game and go into season 4 with a bang. We'll go out of season 3 with a bang, so that we can come into season 4 super excited. That's it for this one. Sound off down below. Let me know what you thought about the Fear the Walking Dead Comic-Con trailer, or what you think is going to happen in the second half. What are some of your predictions? What do you think about my video or my predictions, ideas, whatever? Definitely look out on the channel for more Fear the Walking Dead content. There's also regular Walking Dead content, Game of Thrones, Preacher. I do a bunch of different shows here. I am a screenhead. Hence the name of the channel, Screenheads, right? And I know you're Screenheads too. So keep the discussion going with me down in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, as it not only helps out the channel, but gives me a boost in confidence, right? Lets me know that what I'm doing is somewhat working. So that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Always appreciate it. You guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time.